Gary Grice, better known to the world as GZA or the Genius, was born on August 22, 1966, in Brooklyn, New York. The streets of Brooklyn, with their vibrant culture and dynamic energy, played a crucial role in shaping his worldview. But it wasn't just the environment of the city that influenced young Gary, it was also his family. The Grice family placed a strong emphasis on education, something that would be reflected in GZA's future lyrical complexity and intellectual approach to hip-hop. Growing up, Gary was surrounded by a plethora of musical influences. His parents, though not musicians themselves, appreciated a wide range of genres from jazz and soul to the emerging sounds of hip-hop. This eclectic mix of sounds became the soundtrack of Gary's youth. But it wasn't just music that captured his interest, he was also drawn to literature and learning. Gary was known for his voracious appetite for reading. He devoured books on a wide range of topics, from history and science to philosophy and chess, all of which would later influence his lyrical style. The Grice household wasn't just a place of academic encouragement, it was also the nexus of a powerful familial connection that would shape the course of hip-hop history. Gary's cousins, Robert Diggs, later known as RZA, and Russell Jones, Old Dirty Bastard, were more than just family, they were his partners in creativity. The trio often gathered to freestyle, battle, and exchange rhymes, honing their craft in the process. These sessions weren't just for fun, they were the early foundations of what would become a legendary partnership. As the 1970s turned into the 1980s, the streets of New York City were buzzing with the new and revolutionary sounds of hip-hop. For young Gary, this was a pivotal moment. He found himself drawn to the block parties and park jams where DJ spun records and MCs took turns on the mic. The emerging culture fascinated him, and he quickly became involved in the local scene, performing at small venues and street corners, where he began to build a reputation for his intricate wordplay and intellectual lyrics. Even in these early days, Gary was recognized for his sharp mind, earning him the nickname the Genius among his peers. The early 1980s were a time of exploration for Gary. As he delved deeper into the world of hip-hop, he began to experiment with his style, looking for a voice that was uniquely his. He was heavily influenced by the pioneering sounds of artists like Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, Run DMC, and Rakim. These artists were not just entertainers, they were poets who used their words to tell stories, convey messages, and challenge the status quo. Gary admired their ability to blend rhythm and poetry, and he sought to develop a similar approach in his own work. Despite his growing passion for hip-hop, life in Brooklyn was not easy. The streets were tough, and crime, poverty, and violence were part of the daily landscape. However, these challenges only fueled Gary's determination to succeed. He used his experiences as material for his lyrics, crafting stories that reflected the realities of urban life while also incorporating the knowledge he gained from his readings. This combination of street smarts and intellectualism would become a hallmark of his style. In the late 1980s, Gary, now fully embracing his moniker GZA, took his first serious step towards a music career by forming the group All In Together, now with his cousins RZA and Old Dirty Bastard. The group's name reflected their collective ambition and close-knit relationship. They performed at various local events, gradually gaining recognition for their unique blend of styles. GZA, with his intricate rhyme schemes and profound lyrics, was often the standout, earning respect from both fans and fellow artists. As GZA's reputation grew, he caught the attention of record labels. In 1991, he signed his first record deal with Cold Chillin' Records, a label known for its roster of legendary hip-hop acts like Big Daddy Kane and Kool, G-Rap. This was a major milestone in GZA's career, but it also came with its own set of challenges. His debut album, Words from the Genius, was released in 1991. The album, while showcasing GZA's lyrical talent, did not perform well commercially. The production, handled largely by Easy Mo B, was more aligned with the mainstream sound of the time, which did not quite fit with GZA's more cerebral and gritty style. The commercial failure of Words from the Genius was a hard lesson for GZA. He realized that the industry was not always conducive to artistic integrity, and that success required not just talent, but also the right timing, collaboration, and support. This experience, while disappointing, did not deter GZA from his path. Instead, it reinforced his belief in his own vision and the need to find like-minded collaborators who shared his artistic ethos. This period of struggle was transformative for GZA. It solidified his resolve to stay true to his artistic principles, even if it meant going against the grain of the industry. He returned to the drawing board, refining his style and plotting his next move. Little did he know that this setback would soon lead to one of the most significant chapters in hip-hop history, the formation of the Wu-Tang Clan. As GZA regrouped after the commercial disappointment of his debut album, he found himself at a crossroads. The early 1990s were a time of rapid change in the hip-hop industry. The genre was becoming more mainstream, and the pressure to conform to commercial expectations was intense. However, GZA was determined to carve out his own path, one that remained true to his vision of hip-hop as an art form and a means of intellectual expression. It was during this period of reflection and recalibration that GZA reconnected with his cousins, Robert Diggs, RZA, and Russell Jones, Old Dirty Bastard. They had all experienced the ups and downs of the music industry, and they shared a common frustration with the way the industry operated. They wanted to create something different, something that would allow them to maintain artistic control and express their unique perspectives. This desire for creative freedom led to the formation of a new collective, the Wu-Tang Clan. The concept behind Wu-Tang was revolutionary. Rather than being just another rap group, they envisioned Wu-Tang as a collective of individual artists who could both collaborate and pursue solo careers. This structure would allow each member to shine in their own right while benefiting from the strength of the group as a whole. GZA, RZA, and Old Dirty Bastard were the core members of this new collective, and they quickly began recruiting other like-minded MCs from their neighborhood. The group eventually grew to include Method Man, Raekwon, Ghostface Killah, Inspector Deck, U-God, and Master Killer. Each member brought their own distinct style and personality to the group, creating a dynamic and diverse ensemble. One of the key elements that set Wu-Tang Clan apart from other groups was their use of martial arts imagery and philosophy. The name Wu-Tang itself was inspired by a kung fu film called Shaolin, and Wu-Tang in the group's debut album was titled Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers, a reference to another classic martial arts film. This thematic focus on martial arts was more than just an aesthetic choice. It reflected the group's belief in discipline, strategy, and the pursuit of mastery, qualities that were integral to their approach to hip-hop. GZA, often regarded as the group's elder statesman, played a crucial role in shaping the intellectual and philosophical direction of Wu-Tang Clan. His deep knowledge of various subjects, from science to history, and his love for chess, a game that requires foresight and strategic thinking, were reflected in both his lyrics and his approach to the group's business strategy. GZA's influence helped to elevate the group's lyrical content, making it more sophisticated and thought-provoking than much of the mainstream hip-hop of the time. In 1993, the Wu-Tang Clan released their debut album, Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers. The album was a game-changer. With its gritty, raw production and complex lyrics, it stood in stark contrast to the polished, radio-friendly sound that was dominating the charts. The album's success was a testament to the power of artistic authenticity. It resonated with listeners who were hungry for something real, something that spoke to their own experiences and struggles. GZA's contributions to the album were some of the most memorable. Tracks like Clan and DA Front and Protect Yai Neck showcase his sharp wordplay and ability to weave intricate narratives. His verses were not just rhymes, they were mini lectures filled with knowledge and wisdom. GZA's presence in the group was like that of a wise teacher, guiding listeners through the labyrinth of life with his words. The success of Enter the Wu-Tang opened up new opportunities for GZA and the other members of the clan. True to their original vision, each member began working on solo projects with the full support of the group. This innovative approach allowed them to maintain their unity as a collective while also exploring their individual artistic visions. For GZA, this was the moment he had been waiting for. The experience of releasing words from the genius had taught him valuable lessons about the music industry and the importance of creative control. Now, with the backing of Wu-Tang Clan and the support of his fellow members, he was ready to create an album that truly represented his artistic vision. This album would become Liquid Swords, a project that would not only cement GZA's status as one of the greatest lyricists in hip-hop, but also influence countless artists who came after him. But before diving into the creation of this masterpiece, it's important to recognize the significance of GZA's journey up to this point. The formation of Wu-Tang Clan was not just the beginning of a new chapter in his career, it was the culmination of years of hard work, perseverance, and a relentless commitment to his craft. The early 1990s marked a period of transformation for GZA, both personally and professionally. He had transitioned from being a young artist struggling to find his place in the industry to becoming a central figure in one of the most influential hip-hop groups of all time. This transformation was not just about achieving success, it was about staying true to his principles and using his platform to educate and inspire others. As Wu-Tang Clan's star continued to rise, so did GZA's. He was no longer just a genius in name, he had become a true master of his craft, respected by peers and fans alike for his intellect, lyrical prowess, and unwavering dedication to hip-hop. The stage was set for GZA to take his artistry to the next level, and with the creation of Liquid Swords, he would do just that, solidifying his legacy as one of the most important figures in the history of the genre. The early 1990s were a transformative period for hip-hop, and the Wu-Tang Clan's emergence marked a seismic shift in the genre's landscape. At the center of this revolution was GZA, whose intellectual approach to rhyming and commitment to authenticity played a crucial role in the collective's success. Following the formation of the Wu-Tang Clan, the group quickly began work on their debut album, Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers, which would go on to become one of the most influential albums in hip-hop history. The concept of Wu-Tang Clan was as unconventional as it was ambitious. The group functioned more like a brotherhood than a traditional rap group, with each member bringing their own unique style and perspective to the table. This diversity of talent was one of Wu-Tang's greatest strengths, and GZA's role as the group's intellectual and lyrical anchor was pivotal in shaping their identity. He was the calm in the storm, providing wisdom and direction, both in the studio and in their business dealings. The Wu-Tang Clan strategy was as revolutionary as their music. Instead of signing to a single record label as a group, they opted to sign individual deals, allowing each member to pursue solo projects while maintaining their allegiance to the collective. This approach was masterminded by RZA, but it was fully supported by GZA, who saw the value in maintaining both collective unity and individual freedom. This strategy would allow the Wu-Tang Clan to dominate the hip-hop landscape from multiple angles, with each member contributing to the group's overall mystique and influence. In 1993, the Wu-Tang Clan released Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers. The album was a stark contrast to the polished, radio-friendly sound that was prevalent at the time. Instead, it was raw, gritty, and unapologetically real. The production, handled by RZA, was stripped down, featuring dusty, lo-fi beats that were the perfect backdrop for the group's hard-hitting lyrics. The album's sound was a reflection of the streets of New York City, unforgiving, chaotic, but full of life. GZA's contributions to the album were standout moments that showcased his mastery of lyricism. From the opening track, Bring D a Ruckus, it was clear that GZA was a force to be reckoned with. His verses were filled with intricate wordplay, metaphors, and references that often went over the heads of casual listeners, but were appreciated by those who took the time to dissect his lyrics. On tracks like Clan and DA Front and Protect Ya Neck, GZA delivered bars that were not only clever but also loaded with meaning, touching on themes of survival, wisdom, and the harsh realities of life in the inner city. One of the defining characteristics of GZA's lyrical style was his ability to blend street knowledge with intellectualism. He was as comfortable rapping about the complexities of chess as he was about the struggles of growing up in Brooklyn. This duality made him one of the most respected lyricists in the group, admired for his ability to weave together seemingly disparate ideas into coherent, thought-provoking verses. GZA's rhymes were not just about flexing lyrical muscles, they were designed to make listeners think, to challenge their perceptions, and to expand their understanding of what hip-hop could be. Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers was a commercial and critical success, but more importantly, it established Wu-Tang Clan as a dominant force in hip-hop. The album's success also laid the groundwork for the members' solo careers, each of which would contribute to the group's growing legacy. For GZA, this was an opportunity to revisit his solo ambitions, this time with the full backing of Wu-Tang Clan and the lessons he had learned from his earlier experiences in the music industry. The success of Enter the Wu-Tang was not just a win for the group, it was a vindication of GZA's belief in the power of artistic integrity. The album proved that hip-hop did not have to conform to mainstream expectations to be successful. It could be raw, unfiltered, and still resonate with a wide audience. This lesson would be critical as GZA embarked on the next chapter of his career, the creation of his magnum opus, Liquid Swords. As the dust settled from the whirlwind success of Wu-Tang's debut, GZA began to focus on his solo project. He was determined to create an album that reflected his own vision, one that would push the boundaries of what hip-hop could be. With RZA at the helm as producer, GZA set out to create an album that was not only lyrically complex, but also thematically cohesive, one that would stand the test of time and cement his place in hip-hop history. The creative process for Liquid Swords was intense. GZA and RZA spent countless hours in the studio, meticulously crafting each track to ensure it fit into the larger narrative of the album. GZA's attention to detail was unmatched, and his commitment to quality was evident in every verse he wrote. He drew inspiration from a wide range of sources, from classic literature and philosophy to martial arts and science fiction. The result was an album that was as intellectually stimulating as it was musically groundbreaking. The themes of Liquid Swords were a reflection of GZA's worldview, complex, nuanced, and deeply rooted in the realities of life. The album explored topics such as power, wisdom, survival, and the human condition, all through the lens of GZA's unique perspective. Tracks like Liquid Swords, Duel of the Iron Mic, and Fourth Chamber were not just songs, they were lessons filled with knowledge and insight that challenged listeners to think deeply about the world around them. Liquid Swords was released in 1995, and it was an instant classic. The album was praised for its lyrical depth, innovative production, and thematic coherence. It was a critical and commercial success, further establishing GZA as one of the most important voices in hip-hop. But more than that, Liquid Swords was a testament to GZA's commitment to his craft and his belief in the power of hip-hop as a tool for intellectual and artistic expression. The success of Liquid Swords marked a new high point in GZA's career. He had proven that it was possible to create a commercially successful album without compromising artistic integrity. Liquid Swords would go on to influence countless artists, both within and outside of hip-hop, and it remains one of the most revered albums in the genre's history. With Liquid Swords, GZA has solidified his legacy as one of hip-hop's true geniuses. The album was more than just a collection of songs, it was a statement of purpose, a declaration of what hip-hop could be when approached with intelligence, creativity, and a commitment to excellence. And while GZA would go on to create more music and explore other ventures, Liquid Swords would always stand as the pinnacle of his artistic achievement, a shining example of the genius that had been evident in him from the very beginning. The release of Liquid Swords in November 1995 marked a defining moment in GZA's career and in the broader landscape of hip-hop. This album was not just another project, it was the culmination of years of experience, introspection, and a relentless pursuit of lyrical mastery. For GZA, Liquid Swords was his chance to fully express his artistic vision, free from the constraints that had hindered his earlier work. With RZA's innovative production and GZA's intellectual lyricism, the album became an instant classic, revered for its complexity, depth, and raw power. From the outset, Liquid Swords distinguished itself as a work of art that transcended the boundaries of traditional hip-hop. The album's opening track, also titled Liquid Swords, set the tone for what was to come. The intro sampled dialogue from the martial arts film Shogun Assassin, creating an atmosphere of tension and drama that carried through the entire album. This cinematic approach, combined with GZA's intricate wordplay, made Liquid Swords feel more like an epic tale than a collection of songs. The themes explored in Liquid Swords were wide-ranging and intellectually stimulating. GZA delved into topics such as survival, knowledge, power, and the human condition, all through the lens of his own experiences and worldview. The album was filled with metaphors and allusions that reflected GZA's deep understanding of literature, philosophy, and history. Tracks like Duel of the Iron Mic and Cold World were not just about street life, they were meditations on the challenges of existence, the struggles of the mind, and the pursuit of wisdom. One of the standout tracks on the album, Fourth Chamber, exemplified GZA's ability to blend intellectualism with raw, unfiltered emotion. Featuring verses from Ghostface Killah, RZA, and Killah Priest, The track was a masterclass in lyrical craftsmanship. GZA's verse in particular was a dense tapestry of imagery and metaphor, touching on themes of spiritual warfare, self-discipline, and the search for truth. The song's dark, brooding beat, provided by RZA, only added to its intensity, making it one of the most memorable moments on the album. Another key track, Shadowboxing, showcased GZA's ability to adapt his style to different tempos and moods. The song, featuring Method Man, was a lyrical sparring match with both Miss CS delivering rapid-fire verses that demonstrated their technical prowess. GZA's verse was full of complex internal rhymes and double entendres, reflecting his meticulous approach to writing. The track's title, a reference to the martial art of shadowboxing, was a metaphor for the mental and physical discipline required to survive in a hostile world. The album's title track, Liquid Swords, was perhaps the most emblematic of GZA's approach to hip-hop. The song was built around a central metaphor of swords, representing the sharpness of the mind and the precision of GZA's lyrical technique. The beat, minimalist and haunting, allowed GZA's words to take center stage. His verses were a blend of street wisdom, philosophical insight, and battle-ready bravado, all delivered with the calm confidence of a master at the top of his game. The imagery of swords, both literal and metaphorical, was a recurring theme throughout the album, symbolizing the power of words and the importance of intellectual sharpness. Liquid Swords was not just an album, it was an experience. Each track was meticulously crafted, with every verse and beat contributing to the overall narrative. The album's cohesiveness was a testament to GZA's vision and RZA's production genius. Unlike many albums of the time, Liquid Swords was meant to be listened to as a whole, with each track building on the one before it. The album's pacing, from the intense energy of Fourth Chamber to the reflective mood of Swordsman, was carefully calibrated to keep the listener engaged from start to finish. Critically, Liquid Swords was a triumph. It received widespread acclaim for its lyrical complexity, innovative production, and thematic depth. Critics praised GZA for his ability to elevate hip-hop to new intellectual heights, while still maintaining the raw energy and authenticity that defined the genre. The album was a commercial success as well, reaching gold status within a few months of its release and solidifying GZA's reputation as one of the greatest lyricists in hip-hop. But beyond its commercial and critical success, Liquid Swords had a profound impact on the hip-hop community. The album influenced a generation of MCS producers and fans who were inspired by GZA's commitment to artistic integrity and intellectual rigor. It proved that hip-hop could be both thought-provoking and accessible, challenging listeners to think deeply while still delivering the raw, unfiltered energy that made the genre so powerful. Liquid Swords also demonstrated the strength of the Wu-Tang Clan's collective vision. While GZA was the driving force behind the album, the contributions of RZA and other Wu-Tang members were integral to its success. The album was a perfect example of the synergy that defined Wu-Tang's approach to music, each member bringing their own unique talents to the table, creating something greater than the sum of its parts. In the years following its release, Liquid Swords has only grown in stature. It is now widely regarded as one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time, a benchmark for lyrical excellence and artistic innovation. GZA's reputation as the genius is well-deserved, and his influence can be seen in the work of countless artists who have followed in his footsteps. For GZA, Liquid Swords was more than just an album, it was a statement of purpose. It was proof that hip-hop could be a vehicle for intellectual exploration, a platform for discussing complex ideas and challenging the status quo. The album's legacy continues to inspire, reminding us that at its best, hip-hop is not just music, it is a form of art that can change the way we see the world. As GZA looked back on the success of Liquid Swords, he knew that he had achieved something truly special. But he also knew that his journey was far from over. The next phase of his career would see him continuing to push the boundaries of hip-hop, exploring new ideas, and using his platform to educate and inspire the next generation of artists and fans. The genius of GZA was not just in his ability to create great music, but in his relentless pursuit of knowledge and his commitment to using that knowledge to elevate his art. After the monumental success of Liquid Swords, GZA found himself at a pivotal point in his career. He had already proven himself as one of the greatest lyricists in hip-hop, and his place in the pantheon of rap legends was secure. However, GZA was never one to rest on his laurels. Instead, he saw this as an opportunity to further expand his artistic horizons and continue contributing to the culture in meaningful ways. Following the release of Liquid Swords, GZA continued to be an integral part of the Wu-Tang Clan's collective projects. The group remained active throughout the late 1990s, releasing albums like Wu-Tang Forever 1997 and the W2000, both of which featured GZA's signature cerebral lyrics and sharp wordplay. GZA's verses were often highlights of these albums, showcasing his ability to weave complex narratives and drop knowledge, even as the group's sound evolved. In addition to his work with Wu-Tang, GZA pursued his solo career with renewed vigor. His follow-up to Liquid Swords was Beneath the Surface, released in 1999. The album was a continuation of the themes and styles that had defined his previous work, but with a more introspective and experimental edge. Beneath the Surface featured production from RZA, DJ Muggs, and other notable producers, and it was well received by both fans and critics. Although it didn't reach the same commercial heights as Liquid Swords, the album reinforced GZA's reputation as a thoughtful and innovative artist. Beneath the Surface explored a range of topics, from personal reflection to social commentary, all delivered with GZA's trademark precision and depth. Tracks like Breaker and Publicity delved into the inner workings of the music industry and the pressures of fame, while Crash Your Crew featured GZA's sharp critique of superficiality and materialism in the hip-hop world. The album's introspective tone reflected GZA's ongoing evolution as an artist as he continued to push the boundaries of what hip-hop could be. Throughout the early 2000s, GZA remained active both as a solo artist and as a member of the Wu-Tang Clan. In 2002, he released Legend of the Liquid Sword, an album that further solidified his legacy. The album was a return to the gritty, hard-hitting style that had characterized his earlier work, but with a more mature and reflective perspective. Legend of the Liquid Sword featured collaborations with several Wu-Tang members, as well as guest appearances from artists like Masta Killa and Street Life. The album was another critical success, praised for its lyrical depth and cohesive production. During this period, GZA also began to explore ventures outside of music. One of the most notable aspects of his career in the 2000s was his involvement in education and science outreach. GZA had always been passionate about learning and intellectual pursuits, and he saw hip-hop as a powerful tool for education. He began giving lectures at universities and participating in science-related events where he spoke about the connections between hip-hop, science, and creativity. His interest in science led to a collaboration with Columbia University's Teachers College, where he worked with educators to develop new ways of teaching science through music and lyrics. GZA's passion for science culminated in the project Dark Matter, an album that he announced in the early 2010s. Although the album has yet to be released, GZA described it as a concept album that explores themes related to astrophysics, space, and the universe. The project reflects GZA's ongoing commitment to using his platform to educate and inspire, blending his love for science with his talent for lyricism. While fans eagerly await the release of Dark Matter, the project has already garnered attention for its ambitious scope and innovative approach. In addition to his work in education, GZA also continued to collaborate with other artists and contribute to the hip-hop community. He appeared on numerous tracks with fellow Wu-Tang members and other artists, always bringing his distinctive style and intellectual approach to each collaboration. GZA's influence extended beyond his own music. He became a mentor to younger artists, sharing his wisdom and experience with the next generation of MCs. GZA's ventures outside of music also included acting and film. He made appearances in several films and television shows, often playing roles that reflected his real-life persona as a thoughtful and introspective individual. GZA's involvement in film and television was another example of his versatility as an artist, as he continued to explore new ways to express himself and connect with audiences. By the late 2000s and early 2010s, GZA had firmly established himself as not only a hip-hop legend but also a cultural icon with a wide-ranging impact. His contributions to music, education, and the arts were widely recognized, and he continued to be a respected figure in the hip-hop community. GZA's ability to evolve and adapt while staying true to his principles was a testament to his genius and his enduring relevance in the ever-changing landscape of hip-hop. As GZA moved into the next phase of his career, he remained committed to his mission of using hip-hop as a vehicle for knowledge and artistic expression. Whether through his music, his educational initiatives, or his appearances in film and television, GZA continued to inspire and challenge audiences, proving that true genius knows no bounds. As the years passed, GZA's influence on hip-hop and culture only deepened, securing his place as a revered elder statesman of the genre. His contributions went far beyond the music he created. They extended into the hearts and minds of those who listened to him, as well as those who followed in his footsteps. One of the most enduring aspects of GZA's legacy is the way he elevated the art of lyricism in hip-hop. From the earliest days of his career, GZA was known for his intricate wordplay, intellectual depth, and ability to weave complex narratives into his verses. This approach not only set him apart from many of his contemporaries, but also raised the bar for what was possible in hip-hop. He showed that rap could be more than just catchy hooks and clever punchlines. It could be a form of poetry, a medium for conveying profound ideas and exploring the human condition. GZA's influence can be seen in the work of countless artists who have cited him as an inspiration. His meticulous approach to writing and his emphasis on substance over style resonated with a new generation of MCs who sought to bring a higher level of artistry to their music. Artists like Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, and Joey Bada have all drawn on the blueprint laid down by GZA, incorporating complex themes and thought-provoking lyrics into their own work. GZA's impact is not limited to his immediate successors, though it can also be felt across the broader landscape of hip-hop, where there is now a greater appreciation for lyricism and intellectualism. Another significant aspect of GZA's legacy is his role as a mentor and educator. Throughout his career, GZA has been committed to using his platform to uplift and educate others. This has taken many forms, from his involvement in educational initiatives to his public speaking engagements at universities and conferences. GZA has often spoken about the importance of knowledge both in his music and in his personal life, and he has encouraged young people to pursue learning in all its forms. His passion for science, in particular, has led to collaborations with educational institutions and initiatives designed to inspire curiosity and a love of learning among students. GZA's influence as a mentor extends beyond the classroom, however. Within the hip-hop community, he has been a guiding figure for younger artists, offering advice, support, and encouragement to those who seek to follow in his footsteps. His willingness to share his wisdom and experience has earned him the respect of his peers and the admiration of those who look up to him. GZA's impact as a mentor is perhaps best summed up by his Wu-Tang Clan nickname, The Genius, a title that reflects not only his intellectual prowess but also his ability to inspire others to reach their full potential. In addition to his contributions to music and education, GZ has also had a lasting impact on the culture of hip-hop. His work with the Wu-Tang Clan helped to redefine the genre, introducing a new level of complexity and creativity that has since become a hallmark of the best hip-hop. The group's innovative business model, which allowed each member to pursue solo projects while maintaining their collective identity, has influenced countless other artists and groups. Wu-Tang's success proved that it was possible to achieve both commercial success and artistic integrity, a lesson that has resonated with generations of musicians. GZA's solo work, particularly Liquid Swords, remains a touchstone in the world of hip-hop. The album's influence can be seen not only in the work of individual artists, but also in the broader culture of hip-hop, where it is often cited as one of the greatest albums of all time. Liquid Swords has inspired everything from scholarly analyses to cover versions and homages, and it continues to be a source of inspiration for both fans and artists alike. As GZA's career progressed, he also became involved in various cultural and artistic endeavors that further expanded his influence. He participated in documentaries, gave interviews, and wrote essays that explored the intersections of hip-hop, science, and culture. His insights into the creative process, the role of knowledge in art, and the power of words have made him a respected voice in discussions about the future of hip-hop and its place in the wider cultural landscape. In the later years of his career, GZA's focus shifted more towards his passion for science and education, yet he never strayed far from his roots in hip-hop. He continued to release music, collaborate with other artists, and perform live, always staying true to the principles that had guided him from the beginning. His later works, while perhaps not as commercially successful as his earlier efforts, were nonetheless important contributions to his body of work, reflecting his ongoing evolution as an artist and thinker. GZA's legacy is also preserved through the ongoing success of the Wu-Tang Clan. The group's influence on hip-hop is immeasurable, and GZA's role within the collective has been a key factor in their enduring relevance. Wu-Tang Clan's music continues to be celebrated and discovered by new generations of fans, ensuring that GZA's contributions will be remembered and appreciated for years to come. As we look back on GZA's career, it's clear that his impact on hip-hop is profound and far-reaching. He has pushed the boundaries of the genre, challenged listeners to think more deeply, and inspired countless artists to pursue their own creative visions. GZA's commitment to knowledge, creativity, and artistic integrity has set him apart as one of hip-hop's true pioneers, and his legacy will continue to influence the culture for generations to come. In the end, GZA's story is not just one of personal success, but of a lifelong dedication to the art of hip-hop. His journey from the streets of Brooklyn to the heights of the music industry is a testament to the power of creativity, intellect, and perseverance. As the genius GZA has left an indelible mark on hip-hop, and his contributions will continue to resonate as long as there are those who appreciate the art of the rhyme.